Good morning. All right. Good morning. Good morning. It's Ethan Van Sciver. Welcome to Comic Artist Pro Secrets. It's great to be with you. I think I got 5 hours of sleep last night. I don't know. Trying to get on a normal schedule. I'll tell you, getting over being sick is something else. It just, it kicks your butt. The flu kicks your butt, especially these summer flus. It's just, yeah. All right, let me see. I'm going to get the chat up here. We'll see if we got anybody joining me. I mean, I doubt it, Well, actually, yeah, there are people here watching. That's great. Hi. Yeah. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Well, I don't know if it's morning where you are. It might be, if you're in Australia, it's probably nighttime. It's probably bedtime right now. Oh, yeah. I'm getting myself together. Let's get some caffeine. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, well, bad news, man. I woke up to just terrible news. Terrible news. Richard E. Grant definitely not playing Thrawn. Everyone was hoping that he was. Everyone was hoping that Richard E. Grant was going to end up playing Thrawn in episode 9, and they were going to kind of do. They were going to kind of get into the EU a little bit. I mean, that would have been nice to actually use some of these characters from the animated series. Would have been a good thing. I mean, but no. They're not going to do that. They're not here to make you happy. Hey, good morning, Antonio Bryce. How you doing?
I am good, brother. What is going on?
Well, I'm telling you, I don't even know anymore. I can't tell up from down. I live in Camden, New Jersey, both like in actuality and then this 1998 version of Camden, New Jersey that I'm drawing in Cyberfrog. And this is, when you're involved in a book, when you're involved in producing a comic book, it really does kind of suck you in, doesn't it? It becomes your whole world.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like the world that I've created is like real and the people are real. I have to remind myself that it's all pretend, make believe.
It is, that is that. Well, in a way, it's good. I mean, I remember like 10, 15 years ago, getting so involved in the comic book that I was drawing that it was all I thought about. And I just ate, slept, and, and my waking hours were all spent just thinking about and obsessing about what I was doing. And I'm getting back there again. That place, thinking that way as a comic book artist kind of disappeared over the past maybe 5 years. I kind of just was going through the motions. I didn't feel inspired by what I was doing because it didn't feel like it was mine. But I mean, this is the thing about Comicsgate, and this is what's wonderful about what we're doing. All of this stuff really truly is yours. I mean, it does belong to you. It's not like it's not like working for DC. It's not like working for Marvel. It's not like working for someone else as a freelancer. You really are working for yourself. And that, I don't know, it sucks you in. It involves you more. It makes you more, devoted to it, inspired by it. It's your own project.
Yeah, that's what it's like. It's something you created. It's something you're more passionate about. It definitely with me, I used to be like, one day maybe I'd be able to write Captain America or Spider-Man. But right now, this is what I want to focus on. I want to write these characters that I've created. I want to send them on their journey and let them grow and evolve. And just I'm
The
excited.
other end of the circle for me. I mean, you haven't done Spider-Man. You haven't done the big characters yet. So you're thinking that's where I'm going to end up, or that's where I hope to end up, right? I mean, you thinking about someday ending up at Marvel Comics?
Not this Marvel Comics. I just it's different than I don't know. I had a dream when I mean, but hell, that was the '80s and all this. It. I don't think I would fit in this current Marvel. Maybe DC. I seem to hear better things about DC. But,
Yeah, I think here I still like to think that as long, when it comes to Marvel, as long as you're not on one of the books that they're really promoting.
ah,
Isn't that weird? But it is kind of true. As long as you're on, like, you just say, "Hey, put me on like X-Men Blue or something like that," and it's like then you're doing a pretty faithful rendition of the X-Men that isn't kind of motivated by what Marvel wants to project to the world about what their socio policies are. I mean, they just do the most faithful version of Spider-Man that you can possibly do, and it's not going to be the mainstream book, ironically. And
no,
DC
no,
are pretty
yeah.
safe.
I actually had an idea. I had an idea for a book that I actually would love to do at Marvel, and this was my idea. I was gonna take all because when I grew up, all the black characters just some of them was their powers were just being black. It's like Luke Cage. That used to be you jive sucker. That's what I grew up with. So I wanted to take all their like black characters and put them all on a super team, and then actually, I wanted like War Machine, Luke Cage. I wanted Cloak and Dagger, uh, and then I wanted their Night Thrasher, and there was this really cheesy hero they tried to introduce in Spider-Man called Rocket Racer. And
Oh yeah, yeah, Rocket Racer. Yeah.
yeah, he had like these little arrows and these little darts that he would shoot from his wrist and everything. It was like black guy with a skateboard, and it was rocket powered. And I had all these, and I was like, I was gonna take some of those guys and like revamp them. And then I wanted to build like this super team around all these like throwaway characters. But
Wow.
obviously some of them have blown up now. So
Rocket Racer, huh? I mean, he was always kind of a joke character. I remember they created him in like the late '70s, didn't they? It was like when Spider-Man got his spider buggy.
it was like, and he had this like weird flat top hairdo, and it was like, okay, this is whoever designed him just like went to Harlem for like 5 minutes and just picked out the right airfro or whatever, and just like, all right, let me do that. So but he had potential. He was smart, someone that had a lot of technical savvy, and knew how to. He had that kind of Peter Parker ism where you can build. Hey, I'm not rich, but I've got a brain and I know how to like create things. So, with a little nip and tuck, and put a little imping on it, you could build him up, and he could be a top character now.
Oh, any character could be. That's the thing about it. All of these little characters, given the right heart behind them, they could all be very, very popular characters. It just depends if you find the right creator. And Custom Songmaker, thanks for $5. My grandma died 10 years ago, but she said Trump collusion is a witch hunt for man babies. She's still very active in political insults on Twitter. Well, that's good. God bless. Yeah, God bless your grandmother. I think that was a reference to something else. Hey, good morning, Doug. Is that you?
That's me. Morning.
Yes, Doug. Yes.
Good
Am I coming in okay?
Yeah, we're looking at your page. It looks like you've got hand lettering on that page. Did you do that yourself?
Yes, I did.
How about that?
I'm becoming a big boy. I used one of these things. Unipen.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And now I'm going to do some ink, and this is Bigfoot Bill swinging in on an action scene coming after the Mothman flying into the foreground.
Oh my God, the Mothman.
Yeah. So, hey, I got to do speed lines, when it's perspective and it's all coming out this way, and I got to do all those tight anime style lines.
Uh-huh.
It looks like a lot of guys are using Manga Studio to do that, but I want to do it by hand. Do you always use a ruler on those?
Well, it depends. I mean, it depends on the kind of feeling that you're trying to get with it. But yeah, usually, I mean, if I'm just doing a clean speed line, I'll use various line weights, various different tech pens.
Sure.
And I'll just put them in layers. I'll start with thick, and then I'll just kind of feather out into lighter.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, there are a bunch of different ways to do it. Now, if you're going to do something that's a little bit muddier, like say it's speed lines through, what would I use? Why would I hand draw speed lines? Just hand draw them without a ruler. I'd have to find the right reason for it. It would have to be as though the character himself was so organic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't want to do it by hand. I want to try and really pull off a kind of a vertigo illusion, and I always get that when I see the tight rulered speed lines.
Yeah. There are a bunch of different ways to do it, but I think you're going the right direction there. Antonio Bryce is with us right now. Antonio Bryce has a Indiegogo book called Brand right now that he's doing. So
yeah, we just went over $10,000. We're finally over the 10,000 mark.
Oh, good job, friend. Good job.
I love it. That's terrific. El Argo 30, thanks for $1.99. Are you going to get Jeff on to promote his comic soon? Yeah, Jeff, the way this works, the way these live shows work is I just go on and I throw the link into a private DM thread that I have with everybody in it. Now, I haven't added Jeff yet because I just got off the High Council last night and went straight to bed. Just collapsed in bed. I had a very busy day yesterday, but I'm going to add Jeff to that thread. Jeff is actually, he has a YouTube channel called World Class Bullshitters, and he is a member of the High Council. He's one of the biggest Star Wars channels. He joins me in talking about Star Wars, and we have a show called, again, the High Council that we do every Tuesday. Now, he has just launched an Indiegogo for a comic book, and he's great. I didn't know he could draw like this, but it's a whole comic book about kidnapping Harrison Ford.
Oh, I saw that. On Indiegogo.
Yeah, that's him. And it's like, I'm going to kidnap Harrison Ford and force him to reenact Star Wars scenes in my basement. So it's basically the King of Comedy, but for Star Wars fans.
I was like, that's the Jerry Lewis movie. I was
King of Comedy with Sandra Bernhardt or whatever was the girl. Sandra Bernhardt was the girl in that movie. Yeah. Remember the girl that also kidnapped Jerry Lewis?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And she was he was like Jerry Lewis. That was like, I mean, at that point, Jerry Lewis was that his only like dignified role?
Yeah.
I mean, was I mean, it's like
yes, he plays like a total a-hole too.
He was like playing Carson essentially.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Back Bigfoot Bill. I'm adding the link to Bigfoot Bill and Brand to the chat. Or to the description below the chat. So anybody who wants to can, and we do recommend that you do back these projects. So how was your night last night, Doug?
It was good. I was working all night mostly doing media. I started the morning with Antonio on my Doug TenNapel channel on YouTube. We talked about him working in fast food, and it was a lot of fun. It was fun.
Oh, so you guys already know each other. I couldn't remember who's met who at this point. I mean, it seems like everybody knows everybody.
He's here, and he's the one who's here in Tennessee with me. So we're gonna try and get together and have a cigar because real life, Ethan, we got to get together in real life,
Oh, I know, and I would love to get out of the house at some point. It's difficult. People are like, "When are you going to do conventions?" And it's like, I've got a 2-year-old daughter at home, and we've talked about this before. We talked about Cats in the Cradle. Was it yesterday?
That's right.
Same situation. I waited for Ava for 15 years. For 15 years, I waited for my daughter. I just wanted her to, as soon as possible. I wrote a song about her. You want to hear it? All right, here it
Yeah.
is. See, I don't even ask you if you actually. I don't wait for your answer. I just say, do you want to hear it?
Ethan, I
Well,
I love live music. I love
Okay.
it.
Well, let's. I'm going to turn my piano around a little bit here so I can actually. It doesn't mean much to you guys because you can't see, but this will make it a little bit easier. It goes like this. Can you hear that okay?
Yeah.
This is me dreaming about having my little girl. It goes like this. If I had a daughter, she'd hate Harry Potter. She'd know Edward Cullen's gay. Don't wanna play Quidditch, you son of a bitch. You can ram that Nimbus 2K. The apple you see wouldn't fall far from the tree. She'd watch zombie movies with me. Now she's only 2 years old, but I'm waiting. I'm waiting to show her 28 weeks later. There you go. So anyway, I waited for a long time. Thank you. I waited for a long time for my daughter. And when she finally got here, I promised. I said, hey, I'm never going to miss a day of your life, ever. You know, we talk about you know, how I went away and I missed Hunter's 5th birthday because I was in Ohio. I was in Ohio, you know what I mean, when I should have been at home with my kid. So I said, I'm never going to miss a day of your young life. Now, I haven't completely fulfilled that promise. I've missed maybe 4 days of her life, a couple of times because I went to Arkansas to go hang out with the Brightwisers. But you know, I've mostly kept that promise. And so that means, like, until she gets a little bit older and can kind of travel, I'm not going to do too many conventions. But Doug, at that point, we are going to be multi-billionaires.
Yeah.
And you know, everything's going to work out. I mean, Brand obviously is going to do very well. Antonio is going to be rolling. You know, Cyberfrog, Bigfoot Bill, all very big properties. And we are, you know, yeah, we can just hang out and we'll all smoke cigars together. It'll be fun.
Oh, that's going to be good. That's a good vision, man. I'm into your vision.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that sounds good.
You got to aim for the stars, because why not? I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
And lower your expectations.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to shoot for the stars and then just settle for the moon. You know, yeah. I mean, that's how it goes. Every single time, whenever I start a new project, I'm just aiming for the absolute best that I can do. I want to be. Every time I do a DC comic, it would need to be the Killing Joke. This is my Killing Joke.
Yeah.
And then you fail, obviously.
Yeah.
But you end up with something better than what it would have been. You know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's how you do it.
Hey, Ethan.
Yeah.
Can I say something? Because something yesterday was kind of weird for me, so I kind of want to comment on something that I've been seeing. And Mike and Edwin were doing the Aloha Hour last night, and I caught some of your stuff on the High Council, and it seemed like it got brought up there. But Mike was specifically talking about my involvement, and obviously there are some people that are upset that you have been helping me and helping get this project seen. And when I was on with Doug the other morning, someone that backed the project, I don't think he was throwing shade, but he said that you only picked me because I was Black. And it was just, I've seen other people discussing my appearance on your platform, and I have been consistent with what I just felt like you saw the project and thought it was good, and you've never said, hey, you're my Black guy now, let me help you, so I just, a lot of people, I understand that they have projects that they want you to promote or they want you to do things for them. I just felt like you saw the project for its merit and didn't go, hey, I need a Negro, let me pick one. I don't think that's what happened. So I kind of always, when I see people going, he needed, they're saying everybody's racist. He needs a black guy. So he just picked that guy out. That's why he's on there. And I, like I said, I know people have been kind of like Voldemorting you and doing all this kind of stuff. And I've seen people kind of throwing a little shade my way for various reasons because they want to be on this stream. It's weird.
That's not how you do it. I'll tell you that much.
And yeah, Mike said some things. I mean, I wish people need to go back and listen. Mike, the last few minutes of Mike's stream, he kind of touched when I popped up in the chat and people, he said real things about, I wasn't going around like bugging and harassing people and doing all this trying to get noticed. It didn't happen like that. This has been a long process. It's been a lot of work and a lot of money put into projects, and just it didn't happen like that. That's like I said, I just wanted to put that out there because certain people have been saying things, and then and I was like, I don't want to have like weird battles on Twitter and doing all this kind of stuff. But
look, we're in a no-win situation. I mean, no matter what we do, it's going to be perceived a certain way. I mean, anything that we do is going to be perceived however the people who are either with us or against us, particularly the people who are against us, whatever, if it fits, I hate the word narrative, but there is a narrative, and the narrative has to be adhered to, and then little bits of disparate evidence have to be found to make that narrative kind of work a little better. Look, Antonio, here's why you're here. You're here because you kind of seeked us out. I think you guys were trying to get my attention.
Yes.
Why do I think that you were trying to get my attention? You guys drew me and everything about me. You drew an orange lantern, which was like, wait a second, and then like rose ticos and all of everything that I've ever done. You did a beautiful piece of artwork. I mean, it looked like something that DC would publish. Honestly, it looked really, really nice. You sent me messages that were kind. And I was looking at your book and I said, yeah, this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. But, it took a little while because I did initially think, I'm trying to think of what my attitude was like when I first started promoting Cyberfrog. I think my first attitude was, it's just going to be me and Richard Meyer. It's like Jawbreakers. He was the only one that I was talking to initially. And I was just kind of like, yeah, we're going to launch these two Indiegogos and we're going to try to prove our theory that like the reason why sales are in the toilet is because of the way comic book creators are treating the customers, the way they talk to them, their attitudes about the projects they're putting out. So I said, who wants to go first, you or me? And he's like, I'm going to go first. I went second. And then I just thought to myself, that's it. I'm entirely self-interested here. But then Mitch Breitweiser showed up, and I was like, let's help Mitch. Let's see if we can get Mitch to be a success too. And from there, it kind of broadened out and became a movement of just saying, look, I think we found a successful formula to getting independent projects funded. And at that point, people looked for my attention, and Richard less so. I don't think, but I mean, it seems like a lot of it's coming my way. I chose you because first of all, your book looks great. And then there was this video that you did that I stumbled along. I did a name search. I searched for my name, and you were making gumbo in this video, and the title of your video was like making gumbo and watching Ethan Van Sciver on Comicsgate Live.
Yeah. It was like, yeah, because I got tired. I kept trying to figure out different videos on my YouTube channel. I do have one video that I did on Richard, and it got 5,000 views. People went crazy on that, and I was like, when after he went on Jim Jeffries, but the rest of my videos, I was like, okay, here's a book that I read that I think you guys should read. It's great, Frank Miller, this kind of thing. Nobody cared. It'd be like 2 people, 3 people will watch, and I was like,
I have those videos.
Yeah. If I'm going to fail, I'm going to fail doing what I want to do.
Do your own thing. Well, I saw this video and I liked you, and I liked watching you cook, and I liked this whole thing that, like, this idea that, like, you were cooking food and then you were going to sit down and listen to us. And I don't know what that did to my heart. You know, it just, I just kind of, don't take this the wrong way. No homo. I fell in love with Antonio. Yeah. I like this guy. He is, he's a dreamer, like I am. And, like, he has a book that he's putting out that looks pretty damn good. And a lot of people have books that they're putting out that look pretty damn good. Your book actually looks superior to most of these projects on Indiegogo. And I decided that I was going to invite you on and just test you out. Now, Antonio, if you would come on the stream and you would bombed out, like if you didn't have anything to say, if you were disagreeable, unlikable, if you weren't good at the bants, as we say, you wouldn't have been back on. You know what I mean? And it would have been just like,
and that's fair. I respect that, you know. But
that's just that's reality. I'm putting on a show here. I'm trying to do a radio show. The people who get invited on, the people who are in that DM thread, are people that I know reliably can come on the show, and they are funny or warm, or they add something to what we're doing here. And so you've proved yourself as somebody who can do that, who adds something to the show. Unfortunately, it's like, yeah, there are people out there that are going to be like, it's because he's black. You know, that's just, I don't know how to answer that without, you know, it's silly. No, I choose people because of the quality of their work, and because I like their personalities, and because they work well on the show. And anybody who looks at your work can see that you belong here, and anybody that listens to you likes you. So I think that is, you know, fairly insulting. And it's clear that you are a member of Comicsgate, and you are going to succeed in comics. And it's my honor. It's my privilege to have you join me on this show. So, man, what are you going to do? And I'm seeing this everywhere. Like, you know, I go on Twitter. Fortunately, I've muted almost everybody. My experience on Twitter must look insane to people, like, from the outside looking in, because they're like, Ethan, don't you see they're all calling you Hitler? And I'm just like, walking down the street with a big grin on my face. No, I've muted them all. I can't let that kind of negativity in. And I keep reminding myself that the more I do this, the more I become a public figure who is going to be criticized. And I know that what I'm doing is right.
Yeah.
I know that what I'm doing is right. So it's like, you know, people who say, don't you understand? Don't you understand, Ethan? The comics industry as a whole feels that you are stoking the fires of intolerance. I'm like, that's bullshit. I'm just trying to make comic books for people who disagree with the way comic books are being made right now. I'm just trying to create a platform for people who aren't getting their voices heard for so many various reasons, who are brilliant creators. I'm trying to create product for an audience that is underserved at this point. And also, I mean, it's like, I love what I do. I love being an independent creator. I love it. I love Cyberfrog. So I'm confident in that what I'm doing is not only ethical and the right thing for the comic book industry right now, that my motives are entirely on the table at all times. You know, you could say, well, Ethan's greedy. Well, I mean, I kind of tell people all the time that I'm doing this for money. I want to be very on the table with people, and I think they kind of appreciate it. My overarching goal here is to make a lot of money in comics. And I even said in my opening statement, I was just like, yeah, I'm leaving DC Comics to get rich in the indies. And everyone laughed at me. Everyone just said, get rich in the indies. Are you kidding me? Do you know what it's like here? Do you know what it's like being an independent creator? I know what it's like being an independent creator. I was once one. But you know, now returning to indie comics and owning what I do after 20 years of working in the big leagues and establishing a name and a brand, it's going to be quite a different situation. And if I can share that with other indies who are struggling, who are coming up, I think that's moral and ethical. I think it's the right thing to do. I think standing up and saying, hey, I am a right-leaning comic book creator in an industry that's dominated by rather cruel left-wingers. Cruel, I mean, nasty people, far left-wingers. I think that's also ethical and just. I think it's what I'm here to do. I said this to Andrew. I was like, my purpose. You know how men need a purpose? Men who don't have a purpose become SJWs. I do have a purpose. You know, it's my family, it's my job. But this new purpose of actually like creating a new avenue for people to come into indies and make a living drawing their own comics. Man, what a privilege. And yeah, I'm going to get beaten up for it, Antonio.
Yeah, why wouldn't the comics, anyone who loves comics and anyone who loves creativity and artists, why wouldn't they champion the idea that indies are going to try to make a lot of money and have great success? And instead, what you get is really what I think is a disgusting racist statement that your interest in Antonio is because of his skin color. That's sickening. When you look at his work, and they go, "Oh, he couldn't possibly like it." Yeah, he couldn't possibly like it because he's a good artist or a good writer.
Look at his comic; it's going to succeed. It's extremely, what's the word I'm looking for? Commercial. It's going to succeed, and it would have succeeded with or without me. But I think I can help. Yeah, I mean here's the thing. I mean, I've gotten to the point now where I just accept that these toxic premises are going to. Is it premises? Premises?
Oh, I have no idea. California. I have a California education. I have no idea.
Oh my God! Yeah, New Jersey education here. I just accept them. I just go, this is what people are going to say. So when Antonio says that, I'm like, yeah, I know. Isn't that sad? I mean, that's the world we live in right now. That's the world that we live in, where it's just like, yeah, you're going to get called a Klansman. Yeah, I got it. I know.
That's the thing. I've got just the artist alone. Kanan is, a lot of people don't know who Kanan is. And then I start listing all of the credentials. I mean, he's worked with, he got the Kyron Gillen project with Uber. Kyron's got they're the Wicked and the Divine. They're turning that into some kind of TV property. He worked with Max Brooks, World War Z. Brad Pitt's in that movie. Bam. Okay. Then he's got Son of Shaolin, and they're turning that. The Rock bought that, and they're turning that into something. I mean, he's been on these big projects, but one big thing is, he never seems to, he gets paid for his art, but he doesn't get to own anything. And now he's actually getting to own a piece of this. So yeah, we're excited. He's looking forward to chomping these pages out and, getting out there and meeting the people that have supported this project, which we are very thrilled about. The response has been amazing. Everybody reaching out to us. It's incredible.
Well, let's take a look. I mean, right now, Brand by Antonio Bryce and Kanan White. Kanan is such a cool name, and it sounds biblical. Kanan White.
Yeah, he has the mark of Cain in his book, and that's the Canaanites, and then his artist is Kanan White.
That's awesome.
Pretty cool.
Let's see. So he's at $10,162 right now. He's just 68% of his fixed goal. So we got to get him to 15,000. By the way, guys, the link is in the description if you want to go back. Brand link is also in the description if you want to go back. Bigfoot Bill. I'm trying to see where that is now. Where's Bigfoot Bill at?
It was 34 when I checked this morning.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Check it out here. Yeah, we got to get both of these up on the screen. $34,051 for Doug TeNaples' Bigfoot Bill. So, this is the thing. I'm proud as a peacock. Proud as a peacock of the fact that Comicsgate is always successful. I mean, it always succeeds. It always does really, really well for these creators. And people say that to me. People say, "Well, look, how come this is working out?" And Kickstarter books. If you go look at Kickstarter, projects languish. Raising $3,000 for a comic book, and I don't know how people do a comic book on $3,000. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
That's just not enough money. I don't know how that works, but people say, "Hey, how come Indiegogo works and Comicsgate works through Indiegogo, and these other projects kind of don't. Do you have any theories about that, Antonio? Why is Comicsgate working for indie creators?
Tell them about what your comics was doing before your Indiegogo, the exact same comic.
Yeah, I listed brand on Indiegogo in April, I guess, when the Jawbreakers campaign was going strong, and we made $95 for backers. That was it. Not even enough to do the bank deposit, and which is why we regrouped and moved it to Kickstarter, and then it was dying there, and then one of our backers, a guy named Dave, who is on YouTube as Geeked Out Laud, he tweeted to Mike. He tweeted to Mike, Captain Cummings. He was tweeting to anybody, and Mike happened to see it while he was on your stream, and that is when he reached out to me and had me on his program, and just from being on with Mike, we raised about $700, and then I made the gumbo video, and then we moved to Indiegogo, and the rest is history. So overnight success.
Smart tactic. But lots of failure too. You didn't give up.
Yeah, trust me, I failed, and lost a lot of money too.
Failure is good. Failure is actually good. It teaches you how to do it differently the next time. I mean, you can't, looking back and saying, "Whoop, that didn't work," is the best way to actually succeed the next time. People in the chat are suggesting that Comicsgate is working because there is pie and gumbo. I'm not. There's no pie here. There's zero pie. There's no pie. There's gumbo. Antonio makes him mean gumbo, from what I can see. But
it's good.
There's no pie, at least not yet. I mean, this obsession with pie. I'm 11 days sober, so pie.
I've been saying pie withdrawal. What's going on with that, brother? Let that freak flag fly and get on them pies, man. Don't be letting pies sit there.
Anthony's not afraid of pie. Anthony's not afraid of pie.
Antonio, you have to understand something. First of all, like, if I eat a pie, I'm going to eat another pie the next day. That's what's going to happen. I know this about myself. We're talking about making mistakes and failing and then learning from your mistakes. I know that I'm addicted to sugar. I know I have a sweet tooth, so I will get a craving for like processed sugar, and I have to have it. And then the end result of that, by the way, is that first of all, I'll get a cherry pie or an apple pie. I'll eat the entire pie in a day by myself. I'll pretend that Andrea wants a slice. She's like, I don't want one. And then I'll eat the whole thing. What ends up happening is then I have a sugar crash. I'll go to sleep in the afternoon and I'll wake up all delirious and weird. So it's better just to kick the pie. And then the next day I'll have a craving for more pie and I'll have to go out and get another pie. And then before you know it, I look like Grimace from McDonald's Land. I don't want to look like Grimace from McDonald's Land. I don't want to.
The old Grimace with 4 arms.
Oh my God. I don't want to look like that. I don't want to be a 4-armed living mountain. What was Grimace anyway? Was he?
He was a purple monster.
I always thought he represented milkshakes.
He did, but the early Grimace had 4 arms. Then do you remember that, Antonio? He had 4 arms when I was a kid, when Grimace.
They had cleaned him up a little bit.
All of those puppets looked like they pulled them out of like the Goodwill underwear box.
What happened to them? I saw a whole video about what happened to the McDonald's Land characters, and it was disturbing. You didn't realize it. It's like they're gone. They're gone. McDonald's at one point took a hard left turn towards I'm Loving It and got rid of Mayor McCheese.
So Justin Timberlake, who coined the I'm Loving It song, he killed the Grimace.
Is that true? I went to see him in concert, and I feel like if that's true, I wish I didn't give him money.
Yeah, my wife and daughter saw him here in town when he was in concert, and they walked out because he was saying the F word and all this cussing and stuff. So after they paid for Justin Timberlake tickets, they left. My teen daughter and my wife were too good for that. I like that.
Yeah.
Screw you, Justin. McDonald's killer.
He did a really good cover of Michael Jackson's Human Nature, though, and I really appreciated that. Yeah. That's the single best Michael Jackson song. It really is. If you listen to Human Nature, the rest of Thriller it's okay. It doesn't hold up. Like, here's the thing: go listen to Michael Jackson's Thriller now. It doesn't hold up.
No.
Oh no, he got a couple of tracks on there, man.
Billie Jean is good. Okay, what's good? Billie Jean is good.
Beat
Human Nature is good. What else?
Beat It.
No, Beat It does not hold up.
It's repetitive.
Oh, man, no, especially when I watched the video, I love Beat It, man. I was like,
Yeah, they
I know you do, but like, listen to it now and really go, does this, if this came out today, if this was performed by another artist, would this work? No. And it's a song about cowardice.
It does sound dated. I don't disagree with that.
The problem is, Ethan, you're a musician.
Holds up.
You're a musician, so you hear something different than I do. Like,
oh yeah, I do. I like that Human Nature. I mean, it actually is it's a really good song. It's like, let me see if I can get a nice electric piano. Why? Tell them that it's human nature. Why? Yeah, I dig it. It's got a nice. Yeah. I wish I could play that opening. I'll figure that out. But I mean, most songs I just play by ear real quick. I mean,
I beat it every day.
All right, let's look at the track listing on Thriller, and I'm gonna argue with Antonio about this. All right. PYT is. I mean, look, I like the whole album, but it's just not. It's just,
that's a solid album. People don't even try to really make full albums now. It's all about singles now. So
yeah, I like Off the Wall better. Anyways,
that's a weird album. That is it's spooky and kooky and weird. Let's see. I remember Off the Wall because I was watching the Michael Jackson Thriller, like making of Thriller. Do you remember that? Like in the 80s?
Yeah.
They used the entire. I mean, I didn't know Off the Wall. I didn't know the songs because I only knew Thriller, and they used Off the Wall as the backing track for most of the. Behind the scenes. Was
that John Landis directed that or Joe Dante? Who directed?
John Landis directed Thriller. Yeah, he directed Thriller.
All right, let's go through the track listing here, and it looks like those are the singles. Hold on, let me get the whole track listing here. Yeah, it's 7 singles. 7 singles off that album,
which is unusual now. Most of them 2, maybe 3 max.
Wow. Okay, want to be starting something? You want to be starting something?
Yeah.
What
the hell? What was that? What did that mean?
I love it.
It was supposed to be. It was some African chant I saw because he was doing a lot of behind the scenes filming. It was like around the same time We Are the World came out, and I remember they had him with a choir, and I saw some footage. I think because Quincy Jones worked on that album, and although he's weird now too.
Yeah.
Why is he weird? What happened to him?
Well, you remember what was it a couple months ago? The whole thing about he dated Ivanka Trump or whatever, and all this. It was just a weird.
Really?
He was way older than her, and and she was like dating her husband at the time that he was claiming that this was.
Quincy Jones is old, man. I was watching a Rat Pack special. Like, it was a Rat Pack concert that was on NBC. It was hosted by Johnny Carson. And 1964. And Quincy Jones was leading the band. I was like, what the hell? Quincy Jones was leading the Rat Pack band back in 1964. Yes.
Wow. Yeah. And he was like brilliant jazz musician and all this kind of thing.
Because he knew Herbie Hancock and all those guys. Miles Davis too. They were all buddies.
Oh, it's amazing. All right, so want to be starting something not crazy about Baby Be Mine. I don't even know how that goes. That's one that didn't become a single.
No, it's not a single. Oh man,
I actually don't. Baby Be Mine go.
I actually don't remember that. I know if I heard it, I'd know it. But man, because I've heard so many of the singles. But like I said, he released 7 singles off that album. I feel like I know that album.
But you don't know that song, do you? And can you sing "The Lady in My Life"? Can you sing that song?
That's wait a minute. That's not the one. No, that's "She's Out of My Life." Because "She's Out of My Life."
No, that's good. That's a good song.
Yeah,
that's "The Lady in My Life."
And it cuts like a knife. All that. I love that one, but that's a different one.
Yeah. All right, so those are the 2 songs that didn't become singles, and for the life of me, I don't know how. It's weird. It's like the Mandela effect, where it's like I guess I've heard. I don't know how they go, and I must have heard the songs 100 times, but I couldn't sing them. I wouldn't recognize them. All right, so there's "The Girl Is Mine." Everybody knows that's Paul McCartney. That's a terrible song.
Girl is mine.
Oh no, I love that. Don't waste your time.
Yeah, is a say on there?
That's a Paul McCartney song.
Oh, I like
they
that.
got together and they wrote like 4 songs and they split them up. So Paul McCartney got Say, which I think is the best out of all of them because it's got that Boy George kind of Culture Club sounding harmonica that was actually Stevie Wonder. Was it Stevie Wonder playing that harmonica?
Oh, wow. I don't know.
I could be wrong.
I know Stevie Wonder did Ebony and Ivory with Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
The chat's getting mad at me here. Goodbye, Ethan. I'll come back once you quit praising MJ, who is a pedo. Well, that's never been proved. And by the way, his music is still American classic. You can't. People are saying "Say" stinks.
Oh, I love that track. Man, I love that track. That was I love the video.
You had to be there. They're on a wagon, like a hayride together.
Yeah.
Say.
Oh, there was a slight creep moment in that video, though. They obviously Paul had Linda McCartney play his girl in the video, but Michael had his sister LaToya play his girl. LaToya's Michael's little chick in that video. That was a little weird, so I
don't know. All right, so Girls Mind. Thriller obviously is now a Halloween classic. Is it a good song, though? Is Thriller a good song? I guess it is. Does it hold up?
Every cheesy Halloween party I've ever been in always throws Thriller on. And what's that? There's a Will Smith song, "Nightmare on My Street." It always seems to get when Will Smith was still the Fresh Prince. It was like, "There's a nightmare on my street." I was like, okay.
Ghostbusters theme. These are all. There's no Halloween songs. Like people aren't writing Halloween songs. I wish that they were, because when you go and you get like a CD that says Halloween soundtrack and it's like Ghostbusters, that's not really Halloween. Thriller, well maybe. And then Nightmare on My Street. I mean, my God, there aren't really. I'm gonna start writing Halloween songs so that
I love your songs, by the way. It's like I'm always the butter.
Yeah, that's good stuff. That's good stuff.
It cracks me up for some reason. I don't know why.
Music. I love live music so much. I'm way more impressed with your music than your comics, even, Ethan. I just think music is a bizarre mystery to me. I'm going, how does he do that?
Are you serious? You could do that. You've got the brain to do that. No, anyone who is creative can figure out music pretty easily.
I'm so terrible at singing, and I just sing all the time. I'm way off key. I love it.
Yeah. How about you, Antonio? Do you play anything?
No, I did. I played the recorder when I was in band.
The instrument from hell. I played conversation.
I played a whip instrument.
I love, what my favorite thing ever that they do, my favorite meme, and it never fails to make me laugh. I mean, it always kills me. Whenever somebody is getting too sensitive and talking, about their pain or something like that, very cruel people will place "My Heart Goes On" over them complaining and crying about their life. But it's "My Heart Goes On," and it's almost like a karaoke track, and somebody has replaced the lead with a terrible recorder. And it starts out great. It sounds like the real music. And then as this person breaks down and starts crying, you hear the broken, awfully played recorder. It's so, oh my God. It kills me every single time. They did it to Mundane Matt recently when he was crying about getting his
that video has gotten a bunch of views.
My heart will go on. All right. Let's get back to this. Beat it. You say it holds up. I don't know if it holds up. I don't know if that's fair to say.
Too repetitive.
Well, the thing I don't like about it is it really is a song about cowardice. I mean, it's kind of like run away if somebody's picking a fight with you. Run.
Well, it's dance. It's dance instead of fight. So there's still the fighters in the video they're still fighting, but they put down their knives and they have a dance off.
Yeah,
that's not the way the world works. I'm sorry, Michael. That's not the way the world works. But
somebody tried to beat my ass, and I was like, you know, I kind of like ripped my clothes like off, and I was wearing like, you know, tap pants, satin tap pants.
Yeah.
And you know, put a headband on, like one of those Bruce Springsteen headbands, and
Yeah.
I started kind of doing this Snoopy dance with my feet, like let's do it then, bitch.
Let's throw down.
And yeah, I thought it was really like life was really like breaking Electric Boogaloo, but God,
Oh
beat
man,
my
Breaking
ass.
2, Electric Boogaloo.
Just beat my ass into the ground. I was like, what would the Bugaloo shrimp have done? And I don't know. I don't know how he ever got away with it, the Bugaloo shrimp, but he did. He did every single time. It was.
What the hell's the Bugaloo shrimp? Is that a dance move? What is it?
You haven't seen Breakin'?
Oh yeah, I've seen Breakin'. Yeah.
The Bugaloo shrimp. Is that what his name was?
Electric Boogaloo, the little guy or the?
Yeah, his name was the shrimp. What was it? Bugaloo shrimp.
Oh, Turbo, right? You talking about Turbo?
Turbo, but
okay.
Turbo.
And the other guy's Shabba-Doo.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Bugaloo shrimp. I'm looking him up just to make sure that I didn't get that reference wrong and fuck up my joke. No, he's real. It's the Bugaloo shrimp. There he is, and he's old now. He was the little guy. He was the young guy.
The kid?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The Boogaloo shrimp. Boogaloo shrimp. Boogaloo. Not Bugaloo. They corrected me in Google. Boogaloo shrimp. Man.
Have you ever seen Beat Street? That's what I used to watch. I used to watch Beat Street.
I never saw Beat Street.
Oh wow, really? With Spit? You never saw Beat Street with Spit?
Never did.
I don't remember that.
Oh
What
man,
is it?
you gotta find that movie. It's like it's New York based, where you know, Breaking and Breaking 2 are obviously set out in the West, but you know, Beat Street, you know, they got subways and all this, and they're doing the breakdancing thing too. But they kind of throw some other aspects of hip hop in. They got the break fighting. They also do the graffiti. And there was this super talented graffiti artist, and there was another tagger called Spit, and he would do these beautiful murals. And this guy Spit would just come over and mark his stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, B Street's incredible. It's like what's the Tommy Chong's daughter, Radon Chong's in that movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh, cool.
That's Tommy Chong's daughter, Radon Chong?
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
She was an Angel Heart. Yeah.
I've seen her naked so many times.
Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. She did a lot of like softcore porno for Showtime. So I've seen her naked a few times.
Well,
right,
David Duchovny was on Red Shoe Diaries, and he did, Dear Rich. I used to watch that show all the time.
Watch that show. My son's this is interesting that we bring this up. This is going to be like 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Okay, so Red Shoe Diaries, directed by Zalman King. All right.
Yep.
Now, my son's mother was obsessed. We're talking about this. Me and Andrew were talking about this yesterday. She's like, "Man, your ex-wife is weird." Yeah, obsessed with Zalman King. So she named Hunter, my son Hunter. His middle name is Hunter Zalman Van Sciver.
Oh my gosh.
Now
that's where that came from.
That is, yes, exactly. Now that is Zoom. Okay. Jeff Johns took Hunter's name, Hunter Zalman, and changed it to Hunter Zolomon for Reverse Flash. So basically, softcore porn icon Zalman King is 2 degrees away or 3 degrees away from Reverse Flash for DC Comics. So that's your interesting fact of the day. Now, somebody points out in the chat, they said, Ethan, you like that My Heart Will Go On. There's a whole YouTube channel called Shitty Flute. And that is where that came from. And I said, well, my God. He's like, you got to listen to it. So here it is. Let's check this beautiful music out. Picture someone in pain as this plays behind them.
Yeah. Hey, they got a bend in there.
That's me playing recorder. That's me. God. Oh, man.
That's so good.
Little American Idol audition. No, it's fine.
Oh my God, I'm crying.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, I gotta hear just this part, wherever you are.
Oh, man.
Thank you for whoever told me where that came
It's
from.
a
Oh,
no-
Godiva. Godiva 7721. Thank you for that tip. And oh my God, there's a version of Aha's Take on Me. So I gotta.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm crying. That kills me every single time. I want to use that meme. I just don't. Oh, you know what? Next time Mike S. Miller starts crying about something, we got to make Mike S. Miller start crying.
Yeah, have that thing queued up. So you play Cats in the Cradle to trigger him. And you cue up the song.
Mike, how you doing today? Is everything okay? Oh God, good times. Good times. Well, there are 586 people joining us this morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to
Yes, good morning.
The
morning
crew.
show. Morning show live. Do appreciate you guys. I hope you guys are getting ready for work and prepared to have a dynamite day, a fantastic day in which you may or may not listen to Michael Jackson's Thriller. By the way, the reason why I bring up Michael Jackson's Thriller also is because yesterday it was supplanted as the highest selling album of all time by the Eagles, the fucking Eagles. I don't understand the Eagles at all. I don't get it. I don't understand why anybody would ever listen to the Eagles. I mean, I'm no offense to Eagles fans out there.
I love them.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm
Defend
here to
it.
represent. And
Defend it.
this kind of started with Big Lebowski. Remember the Big Lebowski when the taxi driver is playing the Eagles?
Yeah, of course.
And he goes, the dude goes, oh man, the Eagles, and the guy kicks him out of the taxi. And I go, what's wrong with the Eagles? I like the Eagles.
Oh, they're terrible. They're terrible.
So I hear a lot of Eagles hate, as if they're terrible.
All right, well let's go over. Well, okay, we're gonna get to the Eagles in 1 second. Great song. It holds up. Ava loves Billie Jean. Human Nature is Ava's bedtime song. That's another true fact. I play that song. She gets her blanket. She knows it's time for bed. PYT is, I mean,
I love that song too. I love it. Pretty young thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to.
Yeah, it's kind of contextually though. Now,
PYT,
you know what I mean?
Tender love and care. It's kind of like Hall and Oates' Method of Love, where they had to spell out the song for the illiterate people. METHODOFLOVE. It's the method of love.
Well, does it bother you to hear him singing about pretty young things now, though? You know what I mean?
I live in the moment. And I remember when I heard those songs, man, it was like, I wouldn't think, obviously nobody would.
No one went there
with them,
They do now.
We sang PIG, in third grade. When that album came out, we were very cruel. New Jersey Public. Yeah, you'd sing that to girls. I mean, not nice. But we were in the third grade, and it was, New Jersey Public School, certainly. Lady in My Life, as we said, we do not know. Now, I'm going to look up some Eagles songs. This is the Eagles. What was the best-selling album? I want to find out what's on this and if I need to download it and give the Eagles another chance.
I just got the greatest hits. Greatest hits.
Yeah, that's what everybody has. That's because their regular albums, obviously sold well, but they kind of have an unfair advantage because they literally took all their best hits and put it all on one record.
Yeah, that's different than Michael Jackson's Thriller that had to pull the line all along.
That was put out, where they took, let me take all your best songs and put it up on one album.
Yeah, I think. Well, that's what they did. I mean, let's see. Eagles now have the best-selling album of all time. Congratulations are in order for the Eagles. The American rock band's first compilation album, Their Greatest Hits, 1971 through 1975. So this is just a 4-year period of time for the Eagles.
Yeah, but it's like Elton John too. Elton John's greatest hits are those first 3 albums, and the second of his greatest hits that go into the 80s just is nowhere near what that first one was.
If you haven't had a chance to see that Eagles anthology that was on Showtime, it's like a big 2-parter. That thing was incredible.
How they're tearing each other apart. They hated each other. They were just fighting like crazy.
What was the guy? Fingers something, the one that they sued and kicked out of the group. I was like,
all right, so we're looking at this. This already has good songs on it. You might be right.
Yeah, I'm telling you. You spin that thing, and it's gold. It is so good.
Take it easy. Take it
Yeah.
easy. That's all.
Easy. Yeah.
Witchy woman. Witchy woman is the weirdest thing ever. That is, that phrase keeps coming up, and it just is indicative of a psychic bond I have with my wife, because I was listening, and we talk about this all the time. She can read my mind, like literally read my mind. And I was driving home from Jersey Mike's, having picked up a delicious Jersey Shore sub or two, and bring them home for lunch. And I'm listening to Steel Panther in the car. Steel Panther is kind of like a parody band that does 80s rock, like 80s hair metal, but it's funny and it's usually about filthy sex. It's it's disgusting. And I'm listening to it, and they have a phrase. They were like, it's something about a witchy woman, and they're calling her a witchy woman because she does things that other women won't do. And I'm rocking out to this, and just thinking witchy woman. I was thinking this. I'm like, I wonder, witchy woman, what does that mean? And I was like, is Andrea a witchy woman? Like, and these were the dumb thoughts that were going on through my, in my head. I'm thinking about my wife, and I get home, and I swear to God, I walk in with the sandwiches, and Andrea immediately uses the phrase "witchy woman."
Wow!
Immediately, and I can't. I think she was even humming "Witchy Woman" by the Eagles. I think that's
almost that's an In Search of episode. Almost.
That happens all the time, and I was like, were you listening in to was my phone on in the car? How did you know witchy woman? And I was like, wait a second. I was just thinking that in my brain. Like, even if my phone was, even if my car was bugged, she wouldn't know that I was thinking that phrase. And I just thought, wow, that's so strange. It's the kind of synchronicity that you have with your very special, partner. So witchy woman, lion eyes.
You can't hide them lion
your lion eyes.
Oh, it's so good. I thought by now you'd realize.
I always loved when they would blend the harmony like that and do that. Man, they were great.
Yeah, they could throw down the best harmonies, and then so here they are. They're a harmonious band, and
I'm buying this album right now.
Yeah,
you should. It's worth it.
As soon as the tape recorder stops, they're at each other's throats.
Yeah.
That one story that Glenn told. He was one of the other guys. The Fingers Feldman or whatever, the guitarist, and they were literally, they got the audio of it. He's like, when this song's over, I'm gonna kick your ass. They were on tape. And they actually got it on tape. He was like, when this is over, I'm gonna kick your ass.
Didn't they used to do dirty tricks to each other? Like, who was it that was telling me? And was it you that was telling me, Doug? And I talk to so many people now with my radio show, but it's like they would sit there and somebody would come in with a song, and then one of them would say, "Yeah, just alternate this note right here, change this note," and then with that he would demand like a co-songwriting credit. Like they would do that to each other all the time. They would play these dirty tricks on each other.
Yeah.
Glenn Frey.
Yeah, I heard Don Henley. I know Don Henley was, they had a little thing about who got certain writing credits and all that kind of thing. So it's crazy.
All right, so Already Gone. How's that go? How's Already Gone go?
Already Gone. Yeah, I can't sing it. It's a hard one to sing, but it's good. It's a good one.
Yeah, it's all killer, no filler, man.
Yeah.
Desperado. How's
Desperado?
Linda Ronstadt did that too.
She did?
Yeah, she covered that. She actually made it a hit, and then they did it. And I was like, well, they may have recorded it when they were like, because I know Glenn and Don had worked together in another little band, and then they kind of started off, but they did it, and Linda recorded it, and it blew up, and then they did it also and released it. So,
how's it go? I'm gonna try to play it.
Go down on your fences.
All right, you're gonna sing, Doug. Okay, I'll play it on the piano.
Wait, I can't.
Let me see. Let me get on piano. Oh, you don't want that.
I thought you were doing polka for a minute there. I was like,
oompa, 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 oompa.
Why don't you come to your senses? Fences.
I don't know the lyrics.
You got your reasons. These things that are pleasing you can hurt you some.
Move on.
I don't know. I can't sing Eagles.
Call
They're
the
too high.
key.
We need the flute. We need the flute.
Yeah, the flute fixes all.
Pan flute. I need.
Yeah,
pan.
that's a great, Ethan. I think you'll change your mind if you give it a fresh listen, because it is. And I don't get. There's a lot of Eagles hatred out there.
Yeah,
they're just so
that's a great
mellow.
album, though. I mean, because they picked all the best songs. I was like, I already liked the Eagles, and then I saw that documentary that Showtime aired, and I was just like, man, this is incredible. It was like you really got a lot of because they went into their solo stuff after they all left each other and stuff. Don Henley, I've been trying to get down to the heart of the matter. I love that. I love all that stuff.
Yeah.
Is that on here? Heart of the Matter? No, that's Don Henley.
Because that was his only solo stuff. You know.
Oh. All right, so we got One of These Nights, which sounds like a disco song.
It is so good. It is so good. I love that song.
I can see why this actually is a best-selling album, because even though I'm irritated whenever I hear any of these songs in the supermarket when I'm buying fruit roll-ups, I do know them all, and it's always when I'm buying fruit roll-ups. It's like I'm sitting there going, yeah, it's like
get you, baby, one of these nights, one of these nights. Hotel California.
Glenn Fry had that one song. He said, "You belong to the city."
Yeah. I remember that one. That's so good.
Jay-Z took that and Jay-Z sampled that song. I bet he got a big check from that, because Jay-Z took that and sampled it and did a song with Blackstreet, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's got that great sax.
Yeah, that was a great song.
So good.
Yeah, saxophone that died in the 80s with Miami Vice.
Yeah,
you know
I remember
what
that.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like sometimes when you hear those 80s tracks, you hear a lot of you hear a lot of synthesizer, you hear a lot of sax and all this kind of things.
Yeah, you hear a lot of big hair, a lot of big bangs pointed up with gel.
Flock of seagulls and
yeah, a lot of earrings with feathers on them jangling.
Ethan, a fat guy, he like food, says Roboters 100. Well, listen, I didn't even say anything. All I said was I was at the supermarket, I'm listening to Glenn Fry, and I'm deciding how many inches of fruit I need, and that's the fruit by the foot. You go fruit by the foot. How many feet of fruit? How many yards of fruit do I need? And that's how I buy my fruit now. So I'm like 18 yards of fruit. So
by the foot. He's into the yards now. Fruit by the yard for Ethan.
Fruit by the yard. How many feet are in a yard? 3. So if I want 18 yards of fruit, what's 3 times 18? Where's Nasser when you need him?
Yeah. Right.
Well, does it count if you use a fruit roll up? Like if I eat a fruit roll up, you can measure the inches and the feet there, because I'll definitely tell for fruit roll up. Get it going.
Well, fruit roll-ups are just you measure them by their circumference, because really, if you open them up, they're a circle. It's just a flat circle. It looks like a pizza crust. But I mean, you can't buy that by the foot or the yard. I mean, at Costco, no accurate way to measure that.
Costco and Walmart, do they have fruit by the mile? Is it like in bulk?
Wow, that's a good question. How many miles do I need if I were to stock my bomb shelter? How many miles of fruit would I need?
Get Nasser.
And how many could I get? Get Nasser.
He'd spit out a number. He'd spit out a number before you finish the sentence.
Yeah, he'd say, "Well, how much fruit do you consume? How many feet of fruit do you consume per day?" And I'd say my own height. I think your average adult male eats his own height worth of fruit roll-up product every day. So I'd say 6 feet of fruit a day. And he'd say, "Well, how long do you plan on staying in the bomb shelter?" And I said, "Until it ends." So he would actually have to.
Yeah.
You'd have to figure out how long
6,500
would remain. How long?
6,548, Ethan. Definitely 6,548.
That's the kind of guy Nasser is. Like
he's brilliant.
He is very, very brilliant. So I multiply that times the height. All right, so
No, no,
Tequila
you were asking-
Sunrise. How does that go?
It's
Tequila
another
Sunrise.
Tequila Sunrise.
That was a great song.
Yeah.
I wish I didn't buy this album now. Take It to the Limit. Take it to
To
the
the
limit.
limit.
To the limit.
One more
time.
time.
And they got that nice little sweet high note at the end where it sounds like the guy got kicked in the balls. I
Yeah.
was like, yeah. I was just like, he got that one little, yeah. And that was weird. He started getting kind of afraid to hit that note, and he started saying, my voice won't hold it. And he refused to sing the song, which is what led to him leaving the group. They didn't want to do it anymore, so it was weird.
He turned down millions
How
of
will
dollars
this-
because he wouldn't sing a song.
Yeah, he felt like there was a bunch of pressure on him because that was his soul. What was that guy, Randy? Something I can. But it was he started feeling a lot of pressure because the song blew up. It was one of their first big hits, and most of the time it's Don and Glenn doing the songs, and he's got to hit that note, and Glenn kept like, hey man, the fans really want us to perform this song, and he started really having a lot of anxiety about it, and he didn't want to be in the group anymore, and he left.
That's weird.
Yeah.
You're a performer. It's like, do your job. That's what you're here for.
No, I'm like, I'm asked to play Wolverine as gay. I'm like, oh my God, I can't play Wolverine as gay again. I can't. So I know how he feels. But at the same time, look at ABBA. ABBA was offered $1.5 billion to reunite, and they said, we ain't singing Dancing Queen again. Listen, I would sing Dancing Queen for like
Every
$1 billion.
skating rink.
Yeah.
Man, you go to the skating rink and it was like, Dancing Queen. Especially in the 80s. I remember going to skating rinks in the 80s, and it was crazy.
Take a chance.
How much would you need to be paid to sing Dancing Queen? Seriously.
Hey. I
Like,
that's a great. I like the song. I mean, but it does sound dated now, though. They were playing stadiums.
there it is.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good.
You can dance. You can join. Having the time
Of your life.
Dancing Queen. Friday night and the lights are low. Looking out for a place to go where they play the right music, getting in swing. You've come to look for. There it is. Anybody could be that guy. And I could use a pie.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so
I mean, I would do it. I would do it for less than $1 billion. I'd do it for less than $1 billion. People in the chat are very upset. They're saying this is pretty gay. Make it stop. Somebody's saying with a lot of exclamation points. And other people are saying start over again. Okay, I'll start over again. D's Nuts is saying gay with a lot of A's. So it's like gay with like a lot of A's.
Leo Sayer. It was like, when I
Oh my God.
need you.
You
gotta give way you're talking. Oh yeah. You make me feel like dancing. I'm gonna dance tonight.
away.
You make me feel like dancing. I feel like dancing.
Woo!
I want to get in touch with the guy who says "woo." Just like I wanted to find the guy who sings for you can't touch this, and we did find him.
Yeah, we were doing that the other night. Yeah.
We gotta.
No, there's
We gotta find the guy who sings "woo."
No, but look up that old. It's Tommy Davidson when he was on In Living Color, and they were doing that MC Hammer parody, and his pants kept getting bigger and bigger, and then he got caught up. He was like,
That was in Living Color. I remember that.
Yeah, man, that was funny.
Great. In Living Color used to be a good show.
Bigger and bigger.
That's where Jim Carrey got his start there.
Yeah, when in his Vanilla Ice parody, Jim
Yeah, it was
Carrey's
great.
Vanilla Ice was hilarious.
Yeah, I'm a little teapot. Yeah,
Word to your mother.
yeah, that was good.
I'm getting a little static here. I'm getting a little feedback that's coming through. It's annoying me. All right, so Peaceful Easy Feeling. We know that song. That's horrible. And The Best of My Love. This is a terrible album. I know all of these songs, and I when they're on, I don't hear them anymore. Like when they're on in the supermarket, and I'm figuring out the square footage of fruit that I need to survive a nuclear attack.
Yeah.
I hear these songs, they're playing, and I don't process them as actual songs. They're just background noise. And I know people like
Best
the
of My
Eagles.
Love is good. You need to spin it with a pair of headphones on all over again because they're good. Best of My Love is fantastic.
Oh my god! Oh my god! People are wondering if I wear MC Hammer parachute pants. I don't. I would if I had any, but I really don't have any. Otherwise, I would definitely wear them.
Next year,
a
your
couple
pants
super
that you're
chats.
wearing now are going to fit like
Put that on
parachute.
your Amazon wish list, Ethan. Put in the parachute pants. Put it in. See how I bet you can get like 80 pairs shipped to you.
Oh my god! Yeah, that's the Amazon.com wish list that I'm gonna have to start. How can I get notes like this? How can I donate to you? I'm like, donate to me. Maybe that's how to do it. Maybe as well. Here, and I'll just have it ready. Here's my Amazon wish list. Here, send me a present. I'm a full-grown man. Send me a present, and they will. They'll send me pies and MC Hammer pants. I think that would actually be a good use of my e-celeb. As an e-celeb, I'm entitled to these things.
No, all those women on Instagram, those Instagram models, they all have wish lists, but all the wish lists have all kind of like lubes and weird stuff on it. It's just horrible. It's like, their wish lists get a little racy. And I was like, oh, okay, strap on. Alrighty then.
Hey, Grom sent me $2. He said, sent you a DM on Twitter, Ethan. Did you get it? I don't know, Grom. I'll go and look later. I'll let you know. Liam, thanks for $5. And one day you'll come home and your daughter will have pile over her face and you'll have to live with it. Well, that's going to happen. 87 Kolig, $5 pie, like the symbol for pie, and there are like 8 of them. David Todorov, $2. Eat It by Weird Al still holds up. Well,
I like Weird Al.
Like if I went to you go to a Weird Al concert, you're going to want to hear Eat It, you know?
Yeah, Dare to Be Stupid, some of those albums.
Oh, that is so good. That was the Devo song, right? From Dare to Be Different.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dare to be stupid, dare to be stupid.
I miss
Stick your head in the microwave and give yourself a tan. Yeah, I miss the 80s too. Antonio, how old are you?
43.
Oh, we're the
you were born
same timeline.
Yeah, you were born a few months before me. You were born in 74, and I was born the following March of 75. And
how about that?
Yeah.
All right. So we experienced the 80s the same way. And that is fantastic. We like the same music then. Stephen Piccione, she was great in Commando. That's Radon Chung that he's talking about there. Rookie Critic, $5. Hey guys, it's too early to go to bed working on a Comicsgate vid. Anything special I should include or avoid? You guys are awesome. Keep it up. So the Rookie Critic is making a Comicsgate video. Is there anything that he should include that you can think of?
He should include the titles of our campaign, our Indiegogo campaigns. for starters, it should be called the Bram/Bigfoot Bill video.
Yeah. Oh, people who are watching this think that this is me drawing. That's not me drawing. That is Doug TenNapel working on Bigfoot Bill. Somebody said, could you just set the camera on Doug drawing? And I thought, yeah, that's a good idea. So that's who you're watching draw right now. Michael McLaughlin, $5. Eagles lover here. Greatest hits 71 to 75 is just a great album. Get Over It on the Eagles. Hell Freezes Over album. JW song. Is that true?
I know Eagles Unplugged is amazing. When they what Hell Freezes Over? Yeah, man, that was when they appeared on MTV. That was amazing. I love that.
Yeah, because they said they wouldn't get back together. They'd get back together after Hell Freezes Over. So then they got back together and they called it the Hell Freezes Over tour. I love it.
Yeah, it's like the
hey, I'm getting a complaint. I got an email complaint about the moderator in here Moderator, do not delete things just because you disagree with them. So if somebody calls Michael Jackson a pedo, I know you don't like that, maybe, but you can't delete that.
Yeah.
We'll have free speech. Delete abusive content to other. If someone's being abusive, either to anyone here, and that by abusive, that's seriously abusive. That people can call me fat and people can make fun of us, and that's fine and good. But yeah, don't delete people's negative opinions about things. Just keep the chat clean from abuse, please. Thank you. Appreciate it. Matt Boone, thanks for $2. Stephen Piccione, $2. 1974. What a great year. I don't recall. We don't recall really.
I'm
maybe
50,
Doug.
I'm 52. Yeah, so I remember that. Yep.
What do you remember about 1974?
Let's see. 1974. I was in. Let's see. I was 8 years old, so I was in fourth grade. No, third grade. I was in third grade, living in Garden Grove. I remember riding my bike to the store and getting Baseball Freaks trading cards. They were really nicely painted. They were a lot like the Big Daddy Roth hot rod cards from the 60s. Really well painted, really creative monsters. And I would just study all of the anatomy and all of the rendering. And I wanted to draw like that. I remember that a lot. I remember wacky packages. We collected wacky packs. Those
in the 70s, wacky packs were from the 70s.
Dude, originally, yeah. That was the first run. Yeah, those are the real wacky packs. And the wacky packs that you got had a lot of retreads and reprints from the 70s.
So I love those.
Yeah, I absolutely. That was my I remember on TV. You know, you'd wait. You'd read the TV guide because you never got to see. You didn't have video recorders, so you didn't get to see Gamera unless you studied the TV guide and saw that Gamera was going to be on the Saturday afternoon. You know, B channel movie thing.
I remember TV guides.
Yeah, remember TV Guide?
TV Guide. Now it's just a lunatic site. TV Guide is now a website. I read an article from tvguide.com, and it was absolutely absurd. It was like they keep hiring these little SJW girls to write these articles, and it's all factual until the end, where they blow up with their crazy opinion at the end.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, hey, so this is going on in Star Wars right now, blah, blah, blah. Please expect this to happen. And by the way, these crazy fanboy nerds, these incels who live in their mom's basement, Jesus, God, what? Suddenly we get to know the writer. It's like, I don't want to know who you are. Do not insert, and that's TV Guide. It's like these magazines, these publications have just fallen to the ground, but you know, so have away. So
I remember I have an early memory of my mom she came home from the grocery store and she said, I have a surprise for you. This is how poor we were. I have a surprise for you. And I said, what is it? What is it? And she put a TV Guide on my lap, but it had Charlie Brown on the cover.
Oh,
so that was her big surprise, was the TV Guide had Charlie Brown on the cover. That just burns an image in my head of my sweet mom. I mean, she's still around, so I'm not saying she's dead or anything, but just back then, that was right around that time. Those memories. It's just weird little. Ethan, I remember. Check this out. You guys remember the Three Pigs by Disney? The Three Pigs short.
I saw.
Yeah, absolutely.
Seen it.
Okay, my neighbor friend in Garden Grove was having a birthday party. And they bought or they rented, you know, a projector, and they would spool the film on the projector, you know, and play it for the kids. But I was not invited to the party. And I know that they were going to watch the Little Pigs, the Walt Disney short Little Pigs. And that's all I wanted to do was see that short. And so during the party, they were all watching the movie, and I snuck into their house and peeked up over the couch, and no one knew I was there. And I watched the Little Pig short, and then I snuck.
Kidding me?
Yeah, and then I snuck back out of the house, and I went home and drew the Little Pigs.
How spooky is that?
Yeah, that's my.
Doug is watching you.
Yeah, total stalker move.
Let's say, have you guys seen the Dumbo trailer? You know they're doing that live action Dumbo.
Yeah, Tim Burton.
And I'm curious how that's going to look.
It looked good to me. I mean,
it should look pretty cool.
Tim Burton's an animator, so he's got vision. Sometimes he'll pour it on a little too thick.
Yeah.
But If he's a little restrained, it'll be good. If he just goes nuts like he did with Alice in Wonderland, it's going to be terrible.
Yeah, he went a little overboard with that because especially the second one just was a little too dark, I think.
Yeah, I just don't get it. He's like, he lives in his mind is like some weird 80s Danny Elfman, ooh papa circus, circus clowns and all that. Just he doesn't know when to stop, kind of. So
Tim Burton hasn't had a hit movie in a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, ever since Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Planet of the Apes was a
odd,
big
though,
bomb,
dude.
even though I liked it.
Yeah.
But
The makeup was incredible, but that's Rick Baker did all the makeup on that, and I was like, I'm a big fan of Rick Baker. Going back to Star Wars and all.
oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah,
And they CG'd some of the mouths on the gorillas. Like I think Michael Clark Duncan is playing one of the big guards, and when his mouth would open up, they'd open it up a little more to give it the costume a little help. They do the same thing with Chewie in modern Star Wars movies.
Hey, so by the way, Brand is at $10,277. Thank you to those people who bought a few copies of Brand during the chat. That is phenomenal. Thank you guys. Appreciate your support. And I know Antonio is grateful for it. Also, we sold quite a few copies of Bigfoot Bill. Well, not quite a few, $34,111. That's where we're at right now. Those of you who haven't bought a copy of Bigfoot Bill or Brand, the links are in the description. Please do support these comics.
We're killing it. I'm laying down the pages right now, so we're gonna.
Yeah, I
We're
see.
Watching it get wrong. You're watching it happen right in front of your face.
Yeah.
It's inspiring.
What other show is so comicsy that they let you see them in progress while you're talking about the Eagles? No one else offers that, Ethan. This is
it's a shame. I think more people should. That's one of the kind of cool things also about comics. It's like, hey, all right, so you're backing this book. You're an investor in these books, and then we let you in so that we talk about it every day. You talk to us. We show you progress as it happens. And that's an enormous window. It's a privilege into a privilege to get to see this happen. It's a window into creation.
Yeah, so you're not just buying a comic.
I mean, not the creation. I shouldn't use the word creation. That's that would mean God. We're God.
We're sub-creators. Tolkien called us sub-creators.
Yeah, sub-creators. But you get to see sub-creation.
Yeah. So it's not just you're not just buying a book. You're helping enable us to do tutorials like this, where you get to see, you're one of us. You get to see the book getting made, and we'll talk to you about it, and you can ask questions. And I mean, Ethan, wouldn't you give anything when you were trying to make it in comics in the 90s to have a window into the studio of one of your comic artists, like that you followed? What would you give for that back then?
Yeah, like a room. Yeah, I would.
Window into their oh, that's it. A window. It's like a window into their Google searches. You don't want that.
Little window playing in the background.
Yeah.
A window into their Google search history.
Oh wow, no, nobody wants to see that.
No, you don't want to see that.
Not in most cases, absolutely not. But yeah, I would love to have seen Todd McFarlane draw those early issues of Spawn and Amazing Spider-Man, and I would have loved. I'd love to just sit around and watch John Byrne do an issue of Fantastic Four. I love
McFarlane's Instagram. He posted what's the cover of Incredible Hulk, where it's got Wolverine and you see the Hulk's reflection in Wolverine's claws.
Mm-hmm.
And,
yeah,
it's like he told a story. Apparently he was, obviously Peter David was the writer on that book. And they were cool then. And he gave Peter David asked for the artwork to that cover. He asked for it, and he gave it to him for free. And Peter assured him, hey man, I'll never sell it, and all this kind of thing. And obviously Peter got to a situation and he sold that bad boy, but him and Todd, weren't on the best of terms when he sold it. But I was like, man, if that cover was worth like about $100,000, I would have loved to.
Oh my God, yeah.
Todd should have bought it.
And I was like, yeah. He's like, he sold it.
Yeah, well, he wouldn't let Todd know, I'm sure. Like Todd probably didn't even know it was for sale, you know.
No, it popped up on the auction site. He just had the Spider-Man 1 cover, and that thing, it's like the third highest priced. It was like the third highest selling cover of all time. I know the number one was Frank Miller's Dark Knight 1 cover.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was like, that one went for over like $1 million. It was crazy. Some of those Sotheby's auctions, man, those artworks.
I know, and Frank Miller, like, he probably knocked that dark, because that's just markers, right? He probably knocked that cover out in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, I was like, that's an iconic cover, though.
It is. It's fantastic.
I've seen
people want to know. I'm sorry, Red 9, $2. How can you talk about 74 without mentioning Nixon? By the way, you know, it's a good question. We didn't even go there.
No, not even close. Not even close, man.
We're talking about the music.
Yeah, of course. Oh, Kyle Ritter just colored pages 4 and 5 of Cyberfrog.
What?
Are we gonna get a little preview, or is that still under wraps?
No, I'll show you. Let me just make sure the screen is okay, because it's attached to my email. So how do I? Well, you know, what are you gonna do? Let's see. Kyle Ritter is great. He really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. On my Card Press Instagram, I actually you had loaded those 3 images up from the other day, and I put all 3 of them up and got a real good response on that. People see I was like, little preview of Cyberfrog, put it up. People were loving it.
Yeah.
What, Ethan? What kind of notes do you give him? What kind of back and forth do you have with your colors? Do you just cut him loose on it?
Yeah, I give him some notes. I tell him time of day. I tell him stuff that needs to happen. You know, I mean, for the most part, yeah, I just I cut him loose and let him do his thing. So you know, I haven't been disappointed with him. Yeah, he does great. He does great work. So there's the
beautiful.
Yeah, he did a good job as usual.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that looks amazing.
A lot of depth.
God bless Kyle Ritter.
Definitely. I saw some of his art too. I didn't know he could draw, and I was like, man, he's knocking it out the park, man.
No, that guy, he's multi-talented. People yeah, are kind of impressed that he is so talented, and he hasn't really broken in yet. I'm like, I'll just stay with me for a little while. Just finish Cyberfrog. He's like, I'm gonna do Rainbow Brute too. Okay, great. And then you can move on to Marvel and DC, where you're gonna be very happy. And well, I don't know if you'll ever be as happy as you know you were when you did Cyberfrog and Rainbow Brute, but you'll be very successful. Do his
own title and do his own title. Indiegogo it. You'd have a huge following, and then he owns the character. You know.
Yeah, I know, but you know, you talk to people like Antonio here. Antonio thinks that like he's like, well, I'm going to end up, and we were talking earlier before you came in. I said, do you plan on ending up at like Spider-Man? And everybody kind of, you know, thinks that is the direction that you should go in. Maybe it is. I don't know. Like you start and work your way up to the big 2.
I often thought of that because I always wanted to do a DC or a Marvel book just to because you have to prove something to yourself that you can play with the big boys. And but I just kept thinking, I'm just an illustrator then copying someone else's creation, like Spider-Man. Like I got into this because I want to make a Spider-Man, not trace someone else's Spider-Man that was invented like 50 years ago or something. So I get the appeal, but it was mostly I just love the world building too much. Part of comics, it's too fun. And you can't do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, gentlemen. Well, it's 9 a.m. The kids are all up, and I'm going to go upstairs and have breakfast with my family. Coming and hanging out on the morning show. We'll see you again a little bit later to live stream Comicsgate Live tonight, probably around 9 p.m.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
Yeah. We'll get even more people in here. Antonio will probably be here. We'll get Doug to be in here, and many more. So it'll be a riot. But you guys, hey, go out there, have a good day, go forth and conquer, do great things, make people happy, and make lots of money. God bless you from Comicsgate. And you guys want to say goodbye?
Goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye. I'll tilt this up so you can see that's the Mothman plowing Bill into a wall. Goodbye, my friends. God bless you all. Thanks for showing up. Thank you, Ethan, for the coverage, and have a great day, Antonio.
Oh, you too, brother. Peace out.
All right, see you guys.